Sign them, Marcus, please. Just sign them and let me go. The envelope trembles in her hands, her voice barely above a whisper as she stands in the doorway of his office. Rain hammers against the floor-to-ceiling windows behind him, turning downtown Chicago into a blur of lights and shadows. She's wearing jeans and an old college sweatshirt, her dark blonde hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. No makeup. She hasn't slept in 3 days. Marcus Calloway doesn't look up from the ledger spread across his mahogany desk. His dark hair is perfectly styled despite the late hour, his charcoal suit jacket draped over the back of his chair, sleeves of his white dress shirt rolled up to reveal the intricate tattoos winding up both forearms. A serpent. A crown. Words in Italian she never learned to read. At 34, he's built like someone who knows how to hurt people, broad-shouldered and dangerous. But it's his stillness that frightens her most. The way he can sit so perfectly calm while the world crumbles around him. Put them on the desk, Juliana. His voice is velvet over steel. She hasn't heard him say her full name in months. It's always been Jules. Baby. My wife. But tonight she's Juliana again, and somehow that's worse than if he'd shouted. She takes 3 steps into the room that's been forbidden to her for the entire 2 years of their marriage. Her hands won't stop shaking as she sets the manila envelope down, careful not to disturb his papers. She can smell his cologne, that woody scent that used to make her feel safe. Now it just makes her want to run. I know this isn't what you wanted, she says, and hates how her voice cracks. But I can't do this anymore. I can't be married to someone who won't tell me anything, who disappears for days, who keeps me locked in that apartment like some kind of pet. I can't... Did you read them? He still hasn't looked at her. He's writing something, his fountain pen moving in smooth, controlled strokes. Before you brought them here. Did you read what your lawyer put in these papers? Of course I read them. I'm not stupid, Marcus. I never said you were stupid. Now he does look up, and his eyes are the color of a winter storm, gray and merciless. Sit down. I don't want to sit down. I want you to sign the papers so I can leave. Sit down. It's not a request this time. Juliana's legs move before her brain catches up, carrying her to one of the leather chairs facing his desk. She perches on the edge, ready to bolt. The office is all dark wood and expensive art, the kind of room that smells like money and secrets. She's only been inside twice before. Once when he showed it to her during their engagement, and once 6 months ago when she'd come looking for him after he'd missed their anniversary dinner. That night, she'd found him with blood on his knuckles and murder in his eyes, and he'd made her swear never to come in here again. She'd broken that promise, just like she was about to break all the others. Marcus opens the envelope with deliberate slowness. He slides out the divorce papers, and even from where she's sitting, she can see how thick the document is. 40 pages. Her lawyer had apologized for the length, but Juliana has no assets of her own, and Marcus's finances are complicated. That's what the lawyer had said. Complicated. Like that was a polite word for criminal. He reads in silence. 1 page, 2, 3. The only sound is the rain and the ticking of the antique clock on the bookshelf. Juliana watches his face, trying to find some reaction, some hint of emotion. Does he care that she's leaving? Has he ever actually cared about her at all? Or was she just another acquisition? Another pretty thing to own? They'd met at a charity gala. She'd been serving champagne, working for the catering company to make extra money while finishing her master's degree in art history. He'd asked her which painting in the room was worth stealing. She'd laughed and told him none of them. They were all pretentious garbage, but there was a small Caravaggio sketch in the hallway that would make her sell her soul. He'd smiled, really smiled, and 3 hours later she was in his bed. 2 months after that, he'd proposed. 4 months later, they were married in a courthouse, with 2 witnesses she'd never seen before and never saw again. She'd thought it was romantic, impulsive, passionate. She'd been so incredibly naive. Marcus is on page 15 now. Then page 20. His expression hasn't changed. Then suddenly he stops. His finger traces a line of text. Once. Twice. He flips back to page 18, then forward to page 22. Then he starts to laugh. It's not a happy sound. It's the kind of laugh that makes the hair on the back of her neck stand up, that makes her grip the arms of the chair and wonder if she should run right now, just sprint for the door and never look back. Marcus? He sets the papers down very carefully, aligning them with the edge of his desk. When he looks at her again, there's something new in his eyes. Something she's never seen before, and she can't tell if it's rage or amazement or something else entirely. Who's your lawyer, Jules? What's his name? Why does that matter? Just sign the papers. His name. Each word is perfectly enunciated. Now. David Rothman. He's with Henderson and Associates. Marcus, what? How much did you pay him? I don't see how that's your business anymore, but he's working on contingency. He said he'd take a percentage of whatever settlement we reach. A percentage. Marcus picks up the papers again, and this time when he looks at her, she sees it clearly. He's furious. Not at her. At something else. And how much did you tell David Rothman about my business? About what I do? About where I keep my money? Nothing. I didn't tell him anything because you never tell me anything. She's on her feet now, anger finally overriding fear. I don't know what you do, Marcus. I don't know where your money comes from. I don't know who those men are who show up at 3 a.m. I don't know why there are guns hidden in every room of our apartment. I don't know why we had to move twice in 1 year. I've been married to you for 2 years, and I don't know anything except that I'm scared all the time, and I can't live like this anymore. The words echo in the silence that follows. She's breathing hard, tears streaming down her face. She didn't mean to cry. She promised herself she wouldn't cry. Marcus stands up slowly. He's 6'3", and even from across the desk he makes her feel small, but he doesn't move toward her. Instead, he reaches for his phone and makes a call. Victor, I need you in my office, now, and bring Anthony. He hangs up without waiting for a response. What are you doing? Saving your life, he says quietly. Sit back down, Jules. Please. There's something in his voice that makes her obey, not anger anymore. Something else. Fear? Can Marcus Calloway actually be afraid? They wait in tense silence. Less than 3 minutes later, the door opens and 2 men walk in. She recognizes Victor, Marcus's driver and bodyguard, a massive wall of muscle with a shaved head and a scar running down his left cheek. The other man is younger, maybe 30, with sharp features and cold eyes. Anthony. She's heard Marcus mention him before. Boss! Victor's voice is a rumble. Marcus hands him the divorce papers. Pages 18, 22, 26, 31, and 38. Tell me what you see. Victor flips to the first page Marcus mentioned. His expression doesn't change, but Anthony leans over his shoulder to look, and she sees his eyes widen. That's the Cayman account, Anthony says. How the hell did they get that? Keep reading. They go through each page. With each one, the temperature in the room seems to drop. This is all of them, Victor says finally. Every account, every number. Even the Swiss one we opened last month. This document is a roadmap to everything. Marcus takes the papers back and looks at Juliana. His face is unreadable. Your lawyer didn't tell you what he was putting in these papers, did he? He told me it was standard financial disclosure requirements, that I was entitled to half of your assets accumulated during our marriage. But even as she says it, doubt is creeping in. That's normal for divorce proceedings, isn't it? In normal divorces, yes. But Jules, I'm not a normal husband. I'm not a stockbroker or a business consultant or whatever you've been telling yourself I do. He walks around the desk, and this time he does come toward her. He stops just close enough that she has to tilt her head back to look at him. I run the Calloway family. I manage territories across 5 states. I move money that can never appear on any legitimate balance sheet. Those account numbers? They're not just my money. They're money belonging to people who would kill everyone in this room without blinking if they thought that information was compromised. She's shaking her head. No. David wouldn't. He's a lawyer. He's just trying to help me get a fair settlement. David Rothman is either working for the FBI or for one of my competitors, and honestly, I'm not sure which is worse. Marcus crouches down so they're eye level. Think, Jules. Did you find him, or did he find you? She opens her mouth to answer, then stops. She'd found him online, hadn't she? She'd been searching for divorce lawyers, and his name came up. 5 stars. Specializes in high net worth divorces. Offers free consultations. She'd called him, and he'd been so understanding, so sympathetic. He'd told her she deserved better. He'd told her she deserved half of everything Marcus owned. He'd taken her case for free because he believed in her, because he wanted to help women escape controlling marriages. He contacted you, Marcus says, reading her face. Or he made it very easy for you to contact him. How long ago? 3 months. He sent me a message on Instagram. I thought it was spam at first, but then he said a friend had referred me, that I might need help. What friend? I don't remember. He never said a name. I assumed it was someone from my old life, before I met you. I don't have friends anymore, Marcus. You made sure of that. The accusation hangs between them. It's true, and they both know it. He'd isolated her systematically, cutting her off from her old roommate, her colleagues from the museum where she used to work, even her sister in California. Always for her safety, he'd said. Always to protect her. 3 months, Victor says from behind her. That's when the Volkov family started sniffing around our territory. Could be a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. Marcus stands up, his hand moving to his phone again. Anthony, I need deep background on David Rothman. Everything, financial records, phone logs, known associates, and find out who he's been talking to. If this is a federal investigation, I need to know now. If it's the Volkovs... He doesn't finish the sentence. Juliana feels like she's falling. This doesn't make sense. Why would the FBI or these Volkov people care about my divorce? The 3 men exchange looks. It's Victor who speaks, his voice surprisingly gentle. Mrs. Calloway, if those account numbers got filed with the court, they'd be part of the public record. Anyone could access them. In our world, that kind of information is worth millions. Your lawyer was going to hand over every piece of leverage anyone would need to destroy the Calloway family. And once that information was out there, everyone who knew about it would become a liability. Including you, Anthony adds, not gently at all. The moment these papers were filed, you'd have maybe 24 hours to live. If you were lucky. The room tilts. She grips the chair arms, trying to breathe. I didn't know. I swear to God, Marcus, I didn't know. I just wanted out. I just wanted my life back. Marcus is watching her with those storm-gray eyes, and she can't read his expression at all. Is he angry? Does he believe her? Is he deciding right now whether she's a threat that needs to be eliminated? Boss, what do you want to do with her? Victor asks, and that answers her question. She's not his wife anymore in this moment. She's a problem that needs solving. I want you and Anthony to find out who David Rothman is really working for. I want to know by morning, and I want him alive when you bring him to me. We need to know how much damage has already been done. Marcus doesn't take his eyes off Juliana. Then we need to figure out who else knows about these papers. Just me and David, she whispers. I haven't told anyone I was filing for divorce. I didn't want anyone to try to talk me out of it. Did you meet him at his office? Did anyone see you together? She tries to think through the panic. Twice at his office. Once at a coffee shop downtown. He always insisted we meet in public places. He said it was safer for me in case you found out and got angry. He wanted witnesses, Anthony says. Wanted to establish that she was a client. Makes the whole thing look more legitimate. Marcus nods slowly. Jules, I need you to think very carefully. Did you sign anything? Any retainer agreements? Any documents giving him power of attorney? Yes, a retainer agreement at our first meeting, and he said I needed to sign something that would let him request financial information on my behalf, but that's normal, isn't it? It can be. Or it can be authorization for him to start digging into accounts he should never have known existed. Marcus runs a hand through his hair, and for the first time since she walked in, he looks tired. Did you ever mention account numbers to him? Even casually? No, I don't know any account numbers. I don't even know where you keep your wallet most of the time, Marcus. You've kept me so completely in the dark that I couldn't have told him anything even if I'd wanted to. There's something in his expression that might be regret. But it's gone so quickly she can't be sure. Victor, take her home. Don't let her out of your sight. No phone calls, no internet, no contact with anyone until we sort this out. Wait, no. Juliana stands up, her legs shaky but holding. You don't get to just ship me off like cargo. If I'm in danger, I deserve to know everything. I deserve to know what's really happening. What's happening is that you almost got yourself killed trying to divorce me, Marcus says flatly. What's happening is that someone used you to get to me, and now we need to figure out how to keep you alive. Maybe I don't want you to keep me alive. Maybe I'd rather take my chances out there than be your prisoner for one more day. She regrets the words the moment they leave her mouth. But it's too late. Marcus goes very still, and when he speaks, his voice is deadly quiet. You think you're my prisoner? You have no idea what I've done to keep you safe, Jules. No idea how many threats I've eliminated before they could get anywhere near you. No idea how many people have wanted to use you to hurt me, and how many bodies I've buried to make sure that never happened. He takes a step closer. You want your freedom? Fine, walk out that door, but you'll be dead before sunrise, and it'll be my fault for ever thinking I could have something normal, something good. There are actual emotions in his eyes now, pain, anger, and something else that looks almost like grief. I never wanted to trap you, he says, quieter now. I wanted to protect you. But you're right. I should have told you the truth from the beginning. I should have given you the choice. What truth? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. That I'm the head of one of the largest criminal organizations in the Midwest. That I've killed people, Jules. A lot of people. That every dollar we've spent, every nice dinner, every piece of jewelry I've ever given you, came from drugs or weapons or extortion. That the only reason I can sleep at night is because I've convinced myself that I'm better than the alternatives. That the territories I control are safer and more stable than they'd be under anyone else. But at the end of the day, I'm still a criminal. And you're still married to me, which makes you a target. She should be horrified. She should be running. But instead, all she feels is a strange sense of relief because he's finally telling her the truth. The Caravaggio, she says suddenly. The one I told you about at the gala. The one I said I'd sell my soul for. It showed up in our apartment 2 weeks after we met. I stole it. I know. I've always known. She sits back down, suddenly exhausted. It's been in a private collection in Rome for 60 years. There's no way you could have acquired it legally. I told myself it didn't matter. That maybe you'd bought it from someone who stole it. That you didn't know. But I knew. Deep down, I always knew what you were. Marcus looks at her like he's seeing her for the first time. And you married me anyway. I married you because you were exciting and dangerous, and you looked at me like I was the only person in the world. I married you because my life was so small and boring and safe, and you made me feel alive. She wipes her eyes. But then you made my life even smaller. You took away my job, my friends, my freedom. You locked me in a golden cage and called it protection. And I realized that feeling alive doesn't mean anything if you're not actually living. The silence that follows is different. Heavier. Boss, Victor says carefully. We need to move on Rothman tonight. If he realizes she hasn't filed the papers yet, he'll know something's wrong. Marcus doesn't look away from Juliana. When were you supposed to file them? Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. at the courthouse. Then we have time. He pulls out his phone. Anthony, I need a judge. Someone who can file divorce papers after hours tonight. And I need them to be someone we can trust to keep their mouth shut. Juliana's head snaps up. What are you doing? You want a divorce? I'll give you a divorce. But we do it my way, with papers that don't contain a blueprint for destroying everything I've built. He's already texting someone. You'll get a settlement, enough money to start over somewhere far from here, a new identity if you want it. But you're going to disappear, Jules, for your safety and mine. Just like that? You're just going to let me go? You were already gone. He finally looks at her again, and there's something broken in his expression. You left me months ago, didn't you? You've just been waiting for the courage to make it official. She wants to deny it. She can't. Victor will take you home. Pack a bag with essentials, nothing identifiable. No photos, no sentimental items. You're going to stay at a safe house until we neutralize the threat, and then you're going to vanish. Can you do that? I don't want your money. Too bad. You're getting it anyway. Call it guilt money if it makes you feel better. He turns away from her, back to his desk. Victor, get her out of here. The big man moves toward her, not threatening, but inevitable. Juliana stands, but she doesn't move toward the door. There's something wrong about this. Something that feels unfinished. Marcus. What? Did you ever love me? Even a little? His shoulders tense. For a long moment, he doesn't answer. Then, so quietly she almost doesn't hear it, he says, "Every single day. That's why I have to let you go." She's crying again as Victor leads her out of the office and down the hallway. The building is mostly empty this late at night, their footsteps echoing on the marble floors. She's been here before, but never really knew what this place was. The legitimate face of an illegitimate empire. Import-export, Marcus had told her once. We facilitate international business transactions. She'd been such a fool. They take the private elevator down to the garage. Victor's car is a black SUV with windows tinted so dark they can't possibly be legal. He opens the back door for her, and she slides in, numb. The leather smells new. There's a water bottle in the cup holder and a box of tissues on the seat. Like he'd known she'd need them. They drive in silence through the rain-slicked streets. Chicago at night is all neon and shadow, beautiful and dangerous. She watches it pass by the window and wonders if she'll ever see it again. If she'll miss it. If she'll miss him. The apartment is in a high-rise overlooking the lake, 42nd floor. 3 bedrooms they never used, a kitchen where she learned to cook elaborate meals that Marcus rarely came home in time to eat. Floor-to-ceiling windows with a view that used to make her feel like she was flying. Now she just feels like she's falling. Victor follows her inside, staying by the door while she goes to the bedroom. Her suitcase is in the closet, and she pulls it out, staring at it like she's forgotten how luggage works. What do you pack when you're disappearing? What do you take when you're leaving your whole life behind? She grabs clothes without really looking at them. Jeans, sweaters, underwear. Her passport from the safe in Marcus's closet, the one she's not supposed to know the combination to. She figured it out 8 months ago, watching him from the doorway when he thought she was asleep. It's the date they met. Of course it is. There are stacks of cash in the safe, too. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, just sitting there like it's nothing. She doesn't take any of it. She doesn't want his money. She doesn't want anything except the ability to go back in time and make different choices. But we don't get to go back, she thinks. We only get to move forward. She's zipping up her suitcase when her phone rings. She pulls it from her pocket, sees David Rothman's name on the screen. Victor is across the room in 2 strides, taking the phone from her hand. "Don't answer it," he says. "He'll think something's wrong if I don't." Something is wrong, that's the point. But he hands the phone back. "Answer it, put it on speaker, and be very, very careful what you say." Her hand is shaking as she accepts the call. "Hello? Juliana, I was getting worried. You haven't answered any of my messages today." David's voice is warm, concerned. How had she never heard the falseness in it before? "Are you okay? You're still planning to come to the courthouse tomorrow morning, right?" Yes, 9 a.m. "I remember." "You sound strange. Has something happened? Has Marcus found out about the divorce?" Victor is watching her, his expression intense. Say the right thing, his eyes command. Keep him calm. "No, he doesn't know. I'm scared, David. What if he gets angry? What if he tries to stop me? That's why we're filing at the courthouse, remember? There will be security there. You'll be safe. And once the papers are filed, you'll have legal protection. The law will be on your side." A pause. "You're doing the right thing, Juliana. I know it's scary, but you're so brave." She used to believe that. Used to think he genuinely cared about her well-being. Now all she hears is manipulation. "I know, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. 9 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. And Juliana, don't tell anyone where you're going. Not friends, not family, no one. The fewer people who know, the safer you'll be. Because dead women can't testify," she realizes. because once those papers were filed and the account numbers were exposed, she would have been a loose end. "I won't tell anyone," she promises. She hangs up. Victor takes the phone again and removes the battery. "He'll be tracking this. We need to assume he knows you're here. So what do? We wait. Boss's orders." He moves to the window, looking down at the street below. "Anthony will handle Rothman tonight. We just need to make sure you stay alive until then." "And then what? I just disappear? Start over somewhere with a new name and pretend none of this ever happened?" Victor glances back at her. Would that be so bad? I don't know. She sits on the edge of the bed, her suitcase at her feet. "I've been trying to escape for so long, but now that it's actually happening, I just feel empty." "You love him." It's not a question. She thinks about denying it anyway. But what's the point? "I love who I thought he was. I love the man who brought me breakfast in bed and remembered that I liked my coffee with too much sugar. I love the man who listened to me talk about Renaissance art for 3 hours and actually seemed interested. I love the man who held me during thunderstorms because I told him once that they scared me." She looks up at Victor. "But that man doesn't exist, does he? He was just a mask." "Maybe." Victor crosses his arms. Or maybe that's the only real part of him. Maybe everything else is the mask. Before she can respond, the lights go out. Victor has his gun out instantly, moving away from the window. "Get down, now!" Juliana drops to the floor, her heart hammering. The apartment is dark except for the ambient light from the city filtering through the windows. She can hear Victor moving, hear the soft rustle of his clothes as he positions himself between her and the door. Is it them? The Volkovs? Or the FBI? Or someone else entirely? His voice is calm, professional. "Stay quiet." They wait in the darkness. Seconds stretch into minutes. She can hear her own breathing, too loud in the silence. Can hear the rain still falling outside. Can hear... The front door explodes inward. 4 men come through, moving fast and efficient. They're wearing masks and tactical gear, and they have guns. Big guns. The kind she's only seen in movies. Victor fires twice, and one of the men goes down. But there are too many, and they're too fast. He takes a round to the shoulder and staggers back. Juliana screams, scrambling away from the door, toward the bedroom. One of the masked men grabs her. She fights, clawing at his face, but he's too strong. He hauls her up, and she sees the syringe in his other hand. No. The needle bites into her neck. The world goes fuzzy at the edges, sound fading in and out like a bad radio signal. She sees Victor on the ground, blood spreading across his shirt. Sees the masked men talking, their voices distorted and strange. Sees one of them pull out a phone. "We have her," he says. "Yeah, she's secure. What do you want us to do with the bodyguard?" The response is too quiet for her to hear, but she sees the man nod, sees him raise his gun and point it at Victor's head. Then everything goes black. When she wakes up, she's moving. No, she's in a vehicle. A van, maybe. Her hands are zip-tied in front of her, and there's duct tape over her mouth. Her head is pounding, and her mouth tastes like chemicals. She tries to sit up and immediately regrets it as nausea washes over her. Someone pushes her back down. "Stay still. We'll be there soon." She doesn't recognize the voice, doesn't recognize anything. How long was she out? Where are they taking her? Is Victor dead? Is Marcus looking for her? The van stops. Doors open. Hands grab her, pulling her out into cold rain. She's in some kind of warehouse district, all concrete and rust and broken windows. They half carry, half drag her into a building that smells like mildew and oil. Inside, it's warmer. There are lights set up, bright and clinical, and in the center of the room, sitting in a chair like he's holding court, is a man she's never seen before. He's older than Marcus, maybe 50, with silver hair and sharp features. His suit is expensive, perfectly tailored. He looks like a banker or a CEO. He does not look like someone who kidnaps people, but here they are. They push her into a chair across from him. Someone cuts the zip ties and rips off the duct tape. She gasps, her wrists burning. "Mrs. Calloway." The man's voice is cultured, almost gentle. "I'm sorry for the dramatic entrance. I would have preferred a more civilized meeting, but your husband doesn't make things easy. Who are you?" "My name is Alexei Volkov. I believe you've heard of me?" Terror floods through her. The Volkovs. The family that's been moving into Marcus's territory. The people who would kill everyone in the room without blinking. "You're wondering why you're still alive," Alexei continues. "It's a fair question. The truth is, you're worth more to me breathing than dead. For now. I don't know anything. I can't help you. On the contrary, you've already helped me tremendously." He pulls out a folder and opens it. Inside are copies of her divorce papers. All 40 pages, including every account number. David Rothman has been very cooperative. A bit too cooperative, actually. I'm not entirely sure he understood who he was working for. He was working for you? Indirectly, through several intermediaries. I needed information on Marcus's financial infrastructure, and his little wife seemed like the perfect access point. Alexei smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. "You were so unhappy, Juliana. So isolated and desperate. It was remarkably easy to point you toward a lawyer who would ask all the right questions." She feels sick. "So, this was all a setup? From the beginning?" "From the moment David sent you that first message, yes. Though I'll admit, I didn't expect you to actually work up the courage to file for divorce. I thought we'd have to push harder, maybe stage a few incidents to make you even more frightened of your husband. But you did all the work yourself." He closes the folder. "Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to call Marcus and tell him you've been taken. You're going to tell him that if he wants to see you alive again, he'll need to transfer $20 million to an account I specify, and he'll need to cede control of his Southside operations to my family. He'll never do that." "Oh, I think he will. I've done my research on Marcus Calloway. He's ruthless, yes, violent, unpredictable. But he has one weakness." Alexei leans forward. "You. I'm nothing to him. We're getting divorced. A divorce you were forced to pursue because he kept you so thoroughly isolated and protected. A divorce he clearly doesn't want, given that he spent $3 million last year upgrading security at your apartment building. A man doesn't spend that kind of money on someone he doesn't care about. He was protecting an asset. No, my dear, he was protecting his wife. There's a difference." Alexei signals to one of his men, who brings over a phone. "Call him, now." Juliana takes the phone with shaking hands. She knows Marcus's number by heart, even though he changes phones every few months. He always makes sure she has the new number. Always. She dials. It rings once. "Jules!" His voice is sharp, urgent. "Are you hurt?" "I'm okay. Let me talk to whoever's in charge." One of Alexei's men takes the phone, switching it to speaker. Alexei leans back in his chair, looking pleased with himself. "Mr. Calloway? I assume you know who I am?" "Alexei Volkov." Marcus's voice is flat, emotionless. "You've made a mistake." "Have I? I have your wife. I have copies of your financial records, and I have enough leverage to bring down your entire operation. That doesn't sound like a mistake to me." "Juliana isn't my wife anymore, or she won't be in about 6 hours. The divorce papers are being filed at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, which means she's not my problem." Juliana's heart stops. "You're bluffing," Alexei says, but there's uncertainty in his voice now. "Am I? Ask her. Ask her why she came to my office tonight. Ask her why she's been meeting with a divorce lawyer for the past 3 months. A pause. "You did your research, Alexei, but you didn't do it well enough. You assumed I cared about her. You assumed wrong." "Marcus," Juliana starts, but Alexei holds up a hand. "If you don't care about her, then you won't mind what happens next. Do what you want. She stopped being my responsibility the moment she decided to leave me." The line goes dead. The silence that follows is deafening. Alexei stares at the phone, his expression unreadable. Then he laughs, a sharp bark of sound. "Well?" That's unexpected. He's lying, one of his men says. Has to be. It's a negotiation tactic. Maybe. Alexei looks at Juliana. Is he lying? She can barely breathe. I don't know. You don't know if your own husband loves you? He's not my husband. Not really. We've been strangers living in the same apartment for 2 years. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know what he feels. I don't know anything. And it's true. She realizes it's completely true. Marcus is a mystery wrapped in violence and secrets, and she's never known what's really going on behind those gray eyes. Alexei stands, smoothing his jacket. Well, this is a problem. You're supposed to be leverage, but leverage only works if the other party cares. And it seems Marcus Calloway is a better actor than I gave him credit for, or he's genuinely willing to let you die. He considers her for a moment. The question is, which is it? I told you. I don't know. Then we'll find out. He nods to his men. Take her to the back. Make her comfortable. We'll give Marcus a few hours to reconsider. If he's really done with her, well, she's seen too much. You know what to do. They haul her up out of the chair. She doesn't fight. What would be the point? She let this happen. She walked right into their trap because she was so desperate to escape that she didn't stop to think about the consequences. They take her to a small room in the back of the warehouse. There's a cot and a bucket and nothing else. They lock the door behind them, and she's alone. She sits on the cot and puts her head in her hands. Victor is probably dead. She's definitely going to die. And Marcus. Marcus just told a room full of criminals that he doesn't care what happens to her. Maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe she really does mean that little to him. She's not sure how much time passes. Could be an hour. Could be 3. There's no window. No way to mark time. She drifts in and out of consciousness. Exhaustion and drugs and shock catching up with her. Then she hears it. Gunfire. Distant at first, then closer. Shouting. More gunfire. The sound of breaking glass. She scrambles off the cot and backs into the corner, making herself as small as possible. The door is locked. She's trapped. If this is the FBI or a rival gang or whoever, she's just collateral damage. The gunfire stops. She holds her breath, listening. Footsteps in the hallway outside her door. Heavy. Deliberate. Someone's checking rooms. The lock clicks. The door swings open. Marcus stands in the doorway, and he's covered in blood. She can't tell how much of it is his. He's got a gun in each hand, and his eyes are wild, almost feral. He sweeps the room with both weapons, checking corners, and then his gaze locks on her. Are you hurt? She shakes her head, unable to speak. He holsters the guns and crosses the room in 3 strides. His hands are on her face, her shoulders, checking for injuries. Did they touch you? Did they hurt you? No, I'm fine. Marcus, what? He pulls her into his arms, crushing her against his chest. She can feel his heart hammering, can feel how hard he's breathing. His shirt is wet with blood and rain, and he smells like gunpowder and smoke. You're okay, he's saying over and over like a prayer. You're okay. I've got you. You're okay. You said you didn't care, on the phone. You said... I lied. He pulls back just enough to look at her. There's blood on his face, a cut above his eyebrow. Of course I lied. Did you really think I'd let them keep you? I thought maybe you meant it. That maybe you were finally done with me. I'll never be done with you. His thumb brushes her cheek. I'm a lot of things, Jules. A criminal. A killer. A bastard who's trapped you in a life you never asked for. But I have never, not for 1 second, stopped loving you. She starts crying again, and she hates herself for it. You let me go, in your office. You said you'd give me a divorce. Because it's what you wanted. Because keeping you was killing you. He rests his forehead against hers. I've spent 2 years trying to keep you safe by controlling everything around you. But I was suffocating you. I could see it. You were dying a little more every day, and it was my fault. So, you were really going to let me leave? I was going to let you live, even if it meant living without me. He pulls back, wiping blood from his hands on his already ruined shirt. But then Alexei took you, and I realized I'd rather die than lose you. What did you do, Marcus? What I should have done months ago. I ended the threat. Alexei? And 15 of his men. David Rothman. Everyone who knew about those account numbers. Everyone who was part of the plan to use you against me. His expression is grim. It's done, Jules. It's all done. Victor, they shot him. He's alive. Anthony got him to a doctor. He'll be fine. Marcus takes her hand. We need to go. This place will be crawling with cops soon. He leads her out of the room and down the hallway. She tries not to look at the bodies, but it's impossible. They're everywhere. Men in tactical gear, men in suits, all of them dead. The warehouse looks like a war zone. How many? She whispers. Don't think about it. Just keep walking. Outside, there are 3 black SUVs waiting. Anthony is leaning against one, smoking a cigarette. He straightens when he sees them, his eyes going to Juliana. She good? She's fine. Marcus helps her into the back of the middle vehicle, sliding in beside her. Take us to the lake house. Boss, the lake house hasn't been used in 6 months. There's no security set up. Then set it up. I want a perimeter established by dawn, and I want eyes on every access point. No one gets within a mile of that property without me knowing about it. Anthony nods and gets in the driver's seat. The convoy pulls out, leaving the warehouse and its dead behind. They drive in silence. Marcus keeps hold of her hand, his grip almost painful. She watches the city give way to suburbs, suburbs give way to rural highways. She's only been to the lake house once, right after they got married. It's in Wisconsin, 3 hours from Chicago, isolated and beautiful. He'd told her it was a family property. She wonders now how many people have died there. It's almost dawn when they arrive. The house is modern, all glass and steel perched on a cliff overlooking Lake Michigan. Anthony gets out first, sweeping the property with 2 other men who must have been following in the 3rd SUV. After 10 minutes, he gives the all clear. Marcus leads her inside. The house smells like dust and disuse, but it's clean. Someone has been maintaining it, even though no one lives here. He takes her straight to the master bedroom, turning on lights as he goes. Shower's through there, he says, pointing to the ensuite bathroom. I'll find you some clothes. She stands in the middle of the bedroom, lost. Everything has happened so fast. Just this morning, no, yesterday morning now, she'd woken up planning her escape, planning her divorce, planning her new life. Now she's in a safe house in Wisconsin, and her husband just killed more than a dozen people to save her. Marcus. He stops at the door. Yeah? What happens now? He's quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is tired. I don't know. You still want a divorce? I'll give you one. Real this time. Papers that won't get you killed. But you need to stay here until I'm sure there are no more threats. Could be a few days. Could be a few weeks. And then? And then you go wherever you want to go. Be whoever you want to be. He won't look at her. I'll make sure you have enough money to start over. New identity. New life. I'll make sure no one from my world ever finds you. What if I don't want that? Now he does look at her. What? What if I don't want to disappear? She takes a step toward him. What if I want to stay? Jules, you just spent 3 months planning to leave me. You were willing to risk everything to get away from me. I was willing to risk everything to escape the cage, not you. Another step. You were right. I've been gone for months. But not because I stopped loving you, Marcus. Because I couldn't love you and myself at the same time. You made me choose, and I chose me. Then keep choosing you. Get out of this life before it destroys you. What if instead you let me in? She's right in front of him now. What if you stop trying to protect me from your world and start letting me be part of it? What if you tell me the truth about what you do, about who you are, about all of it? You don't know what you're asking. Yes, I do. I'm asking for a real marriage. Not a prison. Not a fantasy. Real. Honest. Even if it's ugly. He cups her face in his hands. His palms are rough, scarred. She's never asked how he got those scars. Maybe now she'll finally learn. I can't promise it'll be safe, he says. I don't want safe. I want real. I can't promise I'll be able to stop being who I am. What I am. I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking you to let me see you. He kisses her then, and it's different from every other kiss they've shared. It's not gentle or romantic or controlled. It's desperate and raw and honest. It tastes like blood and rain and new beginnings. When they break apart, they're both breathing hard. Last chance, he says. You can still walk away from this. From me. I don't want to walk away. I want to walk with you, as partners, as equals. You'll never be safe. I haven't been safe since the moment I met you. She smiles. At least this way, I'll know what I'm fighting. He laughs, and it's a real laugh this time, not bitter or hollow. You're insane. Probably. I'm definitely going to regret this. Definitely. He kisses her again, softer this time. But if you're serious about this, about staying, about being part of this life, we do it right. No more secrets. No more keeping you in the dark. You want to know what I do? I'll tell you. You want to know about the business? I'll teach you. You want to be my partner? Then you're my partner in everything. Everything? Everything. He pulls back and he's smiling now, really smiling. But we do the divorce anyway. What? We get divorced, make it official. And then if you still want to, we get married again. But this time you know exactly what you're signing up for. This time you choose me with your eyes open. She thinks about it. It's crazy. It's probably the worst idea anyone has ever had. But it's also honest in a way their first marriage never was. Okay. Okay? Let's get divorced, and then let's get married again. For real this time. He pulls her close, burying his face in her hair. You're sure about this? No, but I'm sure about you. They stand like that for a long time, holding each other as dawn breaks over the lake. Outside, she can hear Anthony and his men securing the perimeter, setting up the security Marcus ordered. Inside, everything is quiet. I need to shower, Marcus says finally. I'm covered in blood. Whose blood? People who hurt you. People who threatened you. He pulls back to look at her. People who won't hurt anyone ever again. She should be horrified. She's not. Will there be more? More threats? Probably. There always are. Then I guess you'll have to teach me how to defend myself. If I'm going to be part of this world, I need to be able to survive in it. He stares at her. You want me to teach you? Unless you want to hire someone else? Though I'd prefer to keep it in the family. Family. He tests the word out. I like the sound of that. Me too. She heads toward the bathroom. Come on, let's get you cleaned up, and then you're going to tell me everything. Starting with how you really acquired that Caravaggio sketch. I stole it. I know that part. I want to know how. He follows her into the bathroom, already pulling off his blood-soaked shirt. It's a long story. Good, we have time. And they do. For the first time since they met, they have nothing but time. Time to learn each other for real. Time to build something honest from the ashes of their broken first attempt. Time to become the partners they should have been from the start. It won't be easy. It won't be safe. But as Marcus wraps his arms around her under the spray of hot water, washing away the blood and fear and lies of the past, Juliana realizes she doesn't want easy or safe. She wants real. She wants him. And for the first time in 2 years, she wants to stay. 3 months later, they stand in front of a different judge in a different courthouse. This time, there are witnesses, people from Marcus's organization who've become something like friends over the past weeks. Victor is there, his arm still in a sling but healing. Anthony stands as best man, looking uncomfortable in a suit that's too formal even for him. Juliana wears a simple white dress. There are no flowers, no decorations, nothing fancy. But when Marcus takes her hand and promises to love her, to protect her, to trust her with every part of his life, the good, the bad, and the dangerous. She knows he means it. And when she promises the same, she means it too. "I now pronounce you husband and wife," the judge says. "Again." Everyone laughs. Marcus kisses her, and this time when he pulls back, there are no secrets in his eyes. Just love. Just truth. Just them. "Ready?" he asks. "For what?" "Everything." She squeezes his hand. "I've been ready for months." They walk out of the courthouse together, into a life that's complicated and dangerous and uncertain. But it's theirs, built on honesty instead of lies, on partnership instead of control, on love instead of fear. And that, Juliana thinks as they drive away into the sunset like some kind of backwards fairy tale, makes all the difference. She handed the Mafia boss divorce papers. He opened them and found his offshore account numbers. And somehow, impossibly, that was how their real marriage finally began.